Every woman I've ever worked with has at some point interpreted her struggle as evidence that something is wrong with her. And that is never, ever the case. In fact, today I want to talk about why your struggle means you're actually doing something right. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. So, research on post-traumatic growth, the psychological phenomenon of positive change arising from struggle with highly demanding circumstances, has produced one of the most counterintuitive findings in behavioral science. The people who grow the most from difficult experiences are not those who suffer the least. It is those who are most willing to actively wrestle with the meaning of the difficulty. So, Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun, who first documented this phenomenon, found across dozens of studies that post-traumatic growth was not simply a return to baseline after hardship. It was genuine development in areas like personal strength, openness to new possibilities, relating to others, appreciation for life, and spiritual or existential depth. And the mechanism, of course, was not the absence of suffering. It was the presence of active sense-making, the willingness to sit with hard questions and work towards finding answers. And Carol Dweck, who I've talked about a lot on this show, she authored the book Mindset. Her research adds a complementary finding that people who interpret struggle and difficulty as a signal of inadequacy, the fixed mindset, tend to disengage from challenges faster and learn less from them. But people who interpret struggle as a natural part of life and the learning process, the growth mindset, persist longer. They recover faster from setbacks and they develop more competence over time. The difference is not in the difficulty of the challenge. It's in the meaning that people assign to the struggle, right? This is what I call the good fight. We're all going to rumble throughout our journey, health journey, relationship journey, life journey. Life is a rumble. But fighting the good fight, it's not just a metaphor. It genuinely describes the developmental process that works for you rather than against you, right? The discomfort of changing age-old patterns, of befriending emotions you've been avoiding, of making and keeping promises to yourself, of parenting your brain when you would rather stay small, right? That's the good fight. That is the way, not the obstacle to it. What is it? Ryan Holiday, I think, has the book, The Obstacle is the Way. Well, in this case, if you consider the obstacle is the rumble, life is always going to present you with rumbles. And your work is learning how to move through the rumbles with more ease and grace and hopefully meaning. Making your rumbles mean something that is of value to you, that actually helps you to get up and keep going. I shared recently in a social media post that, last year almost broke me because I was carrying so much last year. I was, trying to get my book across the finish line. I was still running my business, trying to mother a teenager, which if you've parented a teenager, you know that requires a lot of resources, showing up for my husband, running my business. And on top of all of it, I was really rumbling with my dad's Parkinson's. My dad has a very complicated home situation. His wife has been bedridden for 10 years, and now he is failing in really epic ways. And I live 3,000 miles away. So I was traveling almost every month back and forth to Texas to try to do what I could to support him. And we are still doing that work. But I have to tell you that this year, I feel more resilient and capable because I rumbled so hard last year. I mean, I've never taken care of an elderly person. So there was a lot to learn about caretaking. There was a lot for me to learn about how to navigate the medical system in Houston and find the right providers and talk to my dad in ways where he could be receptive to what I was trying to talk about him with. And was it easy? No. Is it easy now? No. But I feel so much more resilient from having rumbled so hard last year. So to me, it was just a necessary rumble. I had to learn somehow. And sure, I could fight reality and spend a lot of time arguing for why this is unfair and why I shouldn't have to do it and why this shouldn't be happening to my dad. But all that is arguing with reality. And when you argue with reality, you will always lose. Reality always wins. So you might as well find a way of engaging with reality that is useful to you. And that's what a growth mindset does. That's what finding meaning in the struggle does. So if you are in a thick rumble right now, if you feel like you are struggling and you're making it mean terrible things about you or your life or the people around you, I would really encourage you to pause and reconsider how you want to move forward. Because there's only one way forward that's going to offer you more ease and grace. And that's making sure that whatever hardship you are going through, you are making meaning out of it. The meaning you're putting on it is working for you and not against you. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.